Alright, you guys, I am back again. But like I said, yet again, just like pretty much every last one of my videos, I've already discussed this. Like I said, spoiler warning ahead. So keep that in mind. If you don't want to watch it, click off now. But you have been warned. Alright, you guys. So, for the second video to start the year off for 2020, I am doing All for One versus Endeavor. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different because, for starters, this is going to be the All for One, not, of course, in its prime, but the All for One that we do recognize as the one that actually fought All Might during the Camino incident. So, versus, of course, the current Endeavor that's going out through the manga. So, the second part, though, about this whole thing and how it's actually going to be a bit different is because usually I do versus battles that are could actually be somewhat pretty even. I would go over both characters and figure out how well they really do against one another. But this versus battle is different because I'm actually not going to be doing that. Because personally, the more I kind of looked at the versus battle, I actually made this because I actually realized that the current Endeavor in the story would absolutely, if you placed him in that same fight where All Might was in, Endeavor would actually have completely beat All for One without really, like, not so much with no difficulty, but he would definitely have been able to beat him with having an easier time defeating All for One compared to All Might, if all, you know what I'm saying, during that whole fight. Now, I know how a lot of you are gonna feel about this, but like I said, just, just let me explain a little bit, okay? So like I said, now how I'm gonna do this, like I said, All for One, of course, even as powerful as he is, for both of these characters, like I said, I just personally don't think he can beat Endeavor. And the way how I'm going to prove All for One will not be able to really beat Endeavor is I'm actually going to scale them from, of course, the good old fashioned All Might. Okay? All Might is easily the best character to scale them both off to, considering, like I said, Endeavor wanted to surpass All Might, and All for One, of course, has fought All Might. Not to mention they share a mutual understanding, and like I said, at the fact that both of them have been competing and facing off against All Might, uh, pretty much even since before the story actually began. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that through some of the stuff of flashback stuff. So, of course, like I said, we're going to be able to actually scale Endeavor and All for One, of course, to All Might. And the first major enemy, of course, that we can really scale All Might to, and his first fight anyway, was when he fought against the Nomu. Now, like I said, the Nomu was specifically created for the sole purpose of killing All Might. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was its purpose. It had superhuman strength, speed, shock absorption, high speed regeneration, like all of these quirks on top of everything. And it was just literally meant as like, it was like a prototype, but at the same time, like a high class prototype, if you know what I mean. But even still, throughout that fight, we've got to see that All Might and that Nomu was actually going toe to toe and was literally trading blows with one another, going back and forth. It wasn't like either one really had the upper hand at any point in the fight. It was just basically kind of back and forth until All Might eventually gained the upper hand. That same All Might then went on to go off to face off against All for One during the Camino incident when they were trying to raid the League of Villains hideout, where, like I said, even throughout that fight, All Might yet again was proving that he was still able to go toe to toe with even someone as powerful as All for One. Like I said, yet again, All Might was actually holding himself back at the very beginning of the fight, of course, because Bakugo and them were there. But it still just instantly shown, like I said, just from their first initial impact, that All for One was definitely a rival to All Might. So they were definitely already, just in that initial moment, were able to go toe to toe with one another, and that's the same All Might that fought against the Nomu. Now, I say that, but at the same time, this is why Endeavor would be able to beat All for One, because All for One faced off against a weak All Might. Okay, this All Might was blatantly stated by himself during the whole fight against the Nomu that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I am a lot weaker. In fact, like I said, the limit has only increased. I can only do this for about one more minute. He's been losing his power throughout this entire series from the moment that not only he got injured in this fight against All for One the first time, but also the fact that when he gave Deku a strand of his hair and passed All for One down, he's been losing the all for one, or sorry, the one for all power slowly but surely, to the point that even, you know what I'm saying, even all for one commented on it, saying that, oh wow, you know what I'm saying, this is only like 5 kilometers away, you know what I'm saying, but yet it took, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, it still took you around 30 seconds to get there, you know what I'm saying, or sorry, but it still took you a while to get there. If you were in your prime, it would only have taken you like 30 seconds. Like this shit, you know what I'm saying, he even implied like, you know what I'm saying, you're getting weak, man, you know, you're slowing down, you ain't really as powerful as you used to be, you know what I'm saying. And yes, All Might does say the same thing about him, like, yeah, you know, but it's more, you know what I'm saying, definitely All Might, All for One's definitely not as powerful as he was, but still that kind of just actually adds to Endeavor. Not to mention, All for One still barely beat All Might. Well, actually, he lost to All Might, and that All Might was still, not only was he heavily weakened, but he was heavily suppressed, considering he actually wasn't even able to really fight at full strength, because he was playing defense the entire fight, because he couldn't just simply go out and dodge All for One's attacks. He literally had to stand there and tank them all and actually push out equal force just so he could actually protect the citizen that was standing behind him throughout the majority of the fight. So you're talking about Endeavor, okay, facing off against All for One, who, like I said, at this point in the series would have been faced, like, he lost to a weak All Might, who would have gotten weaker from the time that he actually faced off against the Nomu, plus weaken him some more, considering he couldn't just simply fight All for One one-on-one. All for One had to keep forcing him to stand still so he could take attack for the sole purpose of weakening him and really showing the world what he was. While Endeavor, on the other hand, his main villain that he ended up fighting off against, of course, throughout his whole Endeavor arc, was he fought another Nomu as well. But this Nomu was a high-end Nomu who had all of the same abilities as the other Nomu, plus a few extras such as cell splitting, regeneration to an even higher degree, plus this one also had intelligence. It is literally as its name is implied, it's a high-end Nomu. It's a very powerful Nomu that is definitely more powerful than the Nomu that All for One fought. And yet again, still, Endeavor was able to fight off against this opponent and win in the end. And I've seen a lot of people, like, I don't know why or where they really got it from, trying to say, like, well, that Nomu wasn't really that much more powerful, even though it's blatantly stated even by the person who literally created the high-end Nomu. And it blatantly says, like, yeah, he is in a completely different league compared to the Nomu that attacked the UA and like attacked UA that All Might fought against. Like, they're completely different. They are high-end Nomu. You know what I'm saying? The one that All Might fought against, even if you want to say, well, it was a mid-level Nomu, it's still not a high-end, meaning it's still in a complete league of its own. Another thing that I saw people trying to use to take away from him is Hawks. They said, well, Endeavor wouldn't have won that fight if it wasn't for Hawks, which technically, if you really want to try and use that argument, you could, but at the same time, you would be wrong, because the only thing Hawks did, Hawks gave Endeavor wings so he could use a ultimate attack and wouldn't draw that much damage to the city. It was really just a simple fact that Endeavor was not trying to actually face off against or destroy the city in his fight against the Nomu. So keep that in mind. But like I said, All for One, it's not like All for One would just absolutely get shit stomped by him, considering, like I said, stuff like the pressurized air that he kept shooting at All Might and that enhanced full body fist that he used would definitely be good enough to actually give Endeavor a bit of trouble. But considering, like I said, yet again, I've said it once, it's just considering just the fact Endeavor would still be able to more or less withstand all of those attacks plus more, and he wouldn't have to just stand still tanking the attacks the same way All Might did. So, point being, All Might being weaker or being just slightly stronger than a Nomu, but also being weaker at the same time, because he was blatantly stated to have gotten weaker day by day, and All for One still lost to that weakened All Might, and at the same time, Endeavor ended up fighting someone that was leagues above even the Nomu that would have been able to go toe-to-toe with All Might, and then possibly even go toe-to-toe with All for One as well. And Endeavor was still strong enough to actually manage to beat that same high-end Nomu. So it's just really not up for debate at all to try and figure out, like, which one of them is actually the strongest. It's actually pretty clear, like, the current Endeavor through the arc, who's, like I said, constantly still even getting stronger as the series goes on. He would have been, if you place him in that current situation where All Might was in, Endeavor would have definitely have been able to actually defeat the Nomu. Oh, sorry, not the Nomu, but he would have been able to actually go toe to toe and end up coming out on top with an easier victory than even All Might did throughout the story. So, with that being said, you guys, like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did. And like I said, I will continue making videos. And like I said, I'm trying to make more videos. Not so much on the everyday thing, but really just kind of every other day. Because some of these videos, of course, like I said, they need more research, more prep time. And I don't just want to keep giving out, you know what I'm saying, kind of just bullshit my way through it. You know what I'm saying? I want to give my honest opinions and stuff that I've kind of researched and looked into. But like I said, I will definitely continue making videos. And like I said, I just really hope you guys enjoying it. I try my best on these videos to really do it. So any support and anything really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. Now that also, since it's 2020, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm glad it's a new year, made it through a new year. And I hope you guys are too. And let's bring in the new year strong, you guys. Try and get that subscriber count and like goal up. All right. Until next time, you guys. Peace.